Welcome back. You are listening to the Maryam Mkwanda show on Salam Media. It is 12:30 on Wednesday, the 10th of June, 2020. So the president has signed a new crime bill into law. Joining me on the line right now is Zitha Hansungule from the Center for Child Law to tell us more about this new act that the president has signed. Good day, Zitha. Thank you for joining me.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me.
All right. So, what is this new act that the president has signed?
Well, it is called the Child Justice Amendment Act of 2019. And essentially what it does is it raises the age of criminal capacity from 10 years old to 12 years old. Practically, what this means is that a child who is under the age of 12 does not have criminal capacity, does not understand the wrongfulness of the offense that they have committed, and therefore cannot be taken through the criminal justice system. Instead, a police officer who is informed about a child under the age of 12 that's committed a crime has to refer such child to a probation officer.
Mm-hmm. So previously the age was at 10. So why did the rise increase to 12 years instead of just keep it at that age?
Mm. Well, the first time that the Child Justice Amendment Bill was put in place, so in 2010, there was a section in the Act that said that within 5 years, an investigation must be done into the criminal capacity of children, whether we need to keep it at 10, whether children in this age group are committing crimes, or if we need to raise it to the age of 12 because younger children in this age group are not committing crimes, and they benefit from better protection if they are diverted from the criminal justice system and sent to probation officers. So an investigation was done, and this is how we have the age raised to 12 years old, and this is in line with international law standards.
Mm-hmm. So what are the factors to consider when prosecuting young persons?
So firstly, let us look at children who are under the age of 12 years old. So a police officer will be informed about this child. The police officer, let's say, takes the child to the parent or to a social worker or to a child and youth care center. And then the police officer calls a probation officer. Now, a probation officer is a social worker that works in criminal justice matters. So then the probation officer is going to investigate the circumstances of the child, investigate why the child committed the crime, and then determine if the child needs to be referred to the care and protection system because the child is at risk and needs particular support, or if the child should be referred to therapy or for counseling. So now that is children under the age of 12. And then children above the age of 12 who do go to the criminal justice system, there's going to be another process again where probation officers are involved, courts are involved, and they look at the individual circumstances of the child and determine what is the best way forward for those children.
Mm-hmm. So quickly tell us what happens to a child when they are prosecuted for a crime that they committed or were part of.
Mm. Mm. Yes, so let's say we're talking about children above the age of 12. So let's say we're talking about a 14-year-old child, a 15-year-old child who was found to have committed a crime. So the police get involved. The police then still have to inform the probation officer of such child. A probation officer does an investigation, and then the police report and the probation officers report to the National Prosecuting Authority. Now, the prosecutor in charge of a child's case can then decide, based on the investigation that's been done, whether the child's mother should go to court, to the Child Justice Court, or whether the prosecutor, him or herself, will want to divert the child. Now, diversion means that the child doesn't go to court, but the child goes to a program that is suited to the needs of the child and suited to rehabilitate the child, taking into account the sort of crime that has been committed. Now, if the prosecutor decides not to divert the child, then the child goes to a magistrate, so a court, and then the court then decides what should happen with the child's case, how the matter should go forward.
And how often do we have children committing offenses, especially within this age group of the new act?
Mm. Well, I don't have the numbers on hand at the moment, but what I can tell you is that the research that was conducted did find that children below the age of 12, we don't have many children below the age of 12 that are committing criminal offenses, coming into contact with the criminal justice system. And then secondly, what the research also found was that this group of children who are in need of some sort of special support need to be taken away from the criminal justice system and taken into a more supportive system that rehabilitates, that provides individual support, and also provides support to the families as well as providing is families.
And what type of crimes are we looking at here?
So we are mostly looking at what you would call minor crimes, theft. So crimes such as theft, crimes that you wouldn't say are serious crimes, but usually crimes that children commit because something is going on in their lives. They're having some sort of difficulty. So very minor crimes is a sort of will be committing. But then that doesn't take away from the fact that you will have children around this age group that would in also serious situations, serious activities, what is going on in these children's lives and what can be done depending on the circumstances to provide the support that is needed and to that they are on.
And when will this act commence?
Well, at the moment, so now the president signed the bill into a piece of legislation. The Department of Justice still needs to write up regulations. So now regulations are regulations are going to help with the implementation, the practical implementation of the act. So the regulations go with the act. So once those regulations are written up, it's going to come full. So we're looking at a few months.
All right, then within the few months, I hope that kids can stay away from a life of crime, because life of crime is just it carries on into their adulthood, and unfortunately we see more criminal activities as they grow older if there is no intervention. But thank you so much for your time, Zitha. I'm going to leave it there for now. Have a lovely day.
Thank you for having me.
Zitha Hansungule from the Center for Child Law, telling us more about the new act which President Ramaphosa has signed into law. It is the Crime Bill Act, or rather the act where children, the age group for children has increased for the crimes or offenses that children commit has increased from age 12 to 14. So it's no longer at age 10, but the act has not yet commenced and will commence soon. When it does, we will be on it and we will let you know about that. If you have any comments on this or any questions regarding this matter, do send them to our WhatsApp line on 061 766 0355. It is 12:39. You are listening to the Maryam Mkwanda Show. To stay with us.